Staletor, who has been found murdered in an Airbnb room in South B, Nairobi. The body of the 24-year-old was found with stabbing wounds, suggesting she could have died after excessive bleeding. Autopsy examination revealed that Starlet died due to hemorrhage injury caused on the main blood.
Now, some people still have the time to blame the victims, blaming the women who have fallen to these criminals. Please just stop it.
You know, they say dead people tell no tales. But I can assure you the spirits of these young women are alive and their anger is out there. So whoever feel that this is just going to pass like this, trust me, as we women continue saying no to this kind of atrocities, justice will be served.
First of all, I really want to send my sincere condolences to the families of the two ladies that were gruesomely murdered and lost their lives in the two Airbnb places in Kasarani and South B. Honestly, I think it is very, very sad to wake up at such news and knowing that your child, your sister, your cousin, whoever they are, did not really do anything. The only mistake was to trust the wrong person, and they decided to go innocently on a date which they felt was going to be mutually beneficial for them and maybe build a relationship for the long term. So I really want to pass my sincere condolences to the families, and we hope that God in his own way will comfort you. This whole story about Airbnb murders is really traumatizing. Honestly, it's really traumatizing me. I've been thinking about it and like, oh my God, like where are we safe? You know, people still need to date, but if you can imagine that every potential date could actually end up demanding ransom from your family and murdering you, it's getting scary out there. It's really getting scary, and it's a very complex situation because you don't even know how to stop it. You don't know how long the conversation has been going on. You know, people meet online, they chat and end up getting a proposal and get married. So this new wave of killings, this new wave of atrocities being meted on women, it doesn't make sense. I don't think it's online dating anymore. I think they're just criminals out there who are wooing people or actually abducting them to take them to these places and kill them. Or can we say maybe it's ritual killing for those who don't believe? Like, what the hell is going on? What is going on? Why like, what is going on? What is really going on here? Like, people, is it that this has been going on and it has never come to news? Is it getting so dangerous to go out there on a date? Jesus, this is so scary. And today, let us just gather here. My sisters, my daughters, my nieces, aunties, let us all gather here. Let us gather here and have this conversation about what is going on. Online dating, since time immemorial, has been in existence, but there's also the other traditional dating methods. And so the whole idea, what is going on? What has changed so much? There are people who've had 100% successful online dating experience and they're happily married and they met people who are okay. But still, within the same market, you find rotten fruits. So my thinking is, how do we avoid these fruits? How do you get to know that whatever the vendor is trying to sell to you is fake? How do you identify fake love? And I take back, you know, I said we all gather here. Let us just have this very important conversation. If you're below 30 especially, or maybe below 35, let me say so, gather here. Let us have this conversation. That what happened to the dating, the old traditional methods of dating, or what will kill us if we try to blend the old and the new. And when I say blend, is meaning you could meet a guy online, but you can't have a conversation with someone through the night to the next day and eventually end up with that guy in a room. And I'm not trying to apportion blame to the victims. I'm just trying to say, how do we mitigate, how do we secure ourselves as women in the future? And I'm just feeling like this situation can be averted if we have certain conversations about what is going on, how did we get ourselves here. And the owners of Airbnb businesses, if you're watching this, how do you feel when you checked in someone into your property and only realized the next day that murder has happened? I mean, murders also happen in hotels. The first thing is, how do we secure our girls? They say that over-empowering anyone can be dangerous. And so women have been empowered to be very proactive about relationship. We can go online, start off a conversation and choose how you want your relationship to go. And most of the time, there is no much, when you're chatting with someone online, there's no room for friends to gather and you say, I've met so and so. There's no room for ice cream dates or Uhuru Park boat rides and all that. You meet online, your conversations have been online, but at the point that you need to meet this someone, depending with the nature of your relationship, and I'm hoping this is a serious relationship, by the time you decide that you're going to meet someone in an Airbnb, there must be something wrong with where they currently stay and why you cannot go there. But my dear girls, my dear women, there's something called a forwarding address. Is it so hard to probably leave a forwarding address and say, you know, I'm going with John out today? And this John should be someone that probably you've taken a selfie with before, or someone you've done some bit of background check. I've gone out with friends before in a restaurant and someone comes to approach you, and when they leave you with a card, a friend of mine used to take the card and start doing Google search and checking if the person is online, what they do, who they are. The disadvantage of Airbnb, one of them is, unlike hotel where you walk into a reception, your details are taken, you check into a room and you have to deliver the key back to the reception at some point, there's a trace of data. Now, the Airbnb, the current state types of Airbnb that we have are the ones that, like the one for Kasarani, the keys were left at a particular supermarket, someone picks the keys, they paid their room in cash, and so it leaves very little trace of the person who committed the crime. It leaves very little tracing for the police even to assist. And so Airbnb business is good, but my question today is, as it is today, maybe it is someone's daughter that was murdered in your Airbnb apartment, and maybe it's, you know, you leave the police to handle it. The unfortunate thing is the next victim could be your own relative, it could be your own daughter. So taking the necessary precautions when you're renting out your Airbnb, I think for me is the first step. Even if you have a CCTV camera at the entry, it's a deterrence. If you have a CCTV camera at the entry of the apartment, even if someone has their cape pulled all the way down, it will be a deterrence for Airbnb owners. Your terms of payment, there are people who will strictly say, no, the payment, no cash. You're paying me via M-Pesa, or you're transferring the money to my account. Some bit of deterrence also, because you'll have a trace of how it all happened, who paid you, what numbers they used, and all that. So for owners, I feel it's not within your, can I say, it's not within your hands to choose who is going to be your client and who is not. And you cannot treat all clients as a potential criminal. But you can use these deterrences, because unlike hotels, Airbnb are quite secluded. If it's a one-bedroom apartment on a floor, you are there on your own, so nobody will even hear any commotion if something is going on. So having the CCTV camera on somewhere on the stairs or somewhere within the room is very, very important to secure people, to secure your clients. Are they going to kill all of us? Because dating online has grown like yeast. Online business, it's not just dating, online business, online jobs, online, a lot of things are nowadays happening online. And many people probably don't really have time to go out in the normal traditional dating. But what I said earlier, like, you can take a blend of both. I feel if you really have to go and meet someone in private, then at least tell someone that you're going somewhere. And when you arrive there, you can send your location. It might look something really minor, not really important, but you can share the forwarding address and say where you are going. I feel saddened by all the atrocities that have happened in the last 2 weeks. It's very sad. It's really heartbreaking to know that people are afraid of diseases. People are afraid of being hit by a car, but nobody ever imagines that the same person who probably has proclaimed love for you, or someone who claims to care about you, will actually lure you into a room and take your life. I personally feel that if women, for example, or young girls, will take precaution on not being too secretive about who you are dating or who is flirting with you, and just mention it to a friend. Even if you don't mention it to a family member, but at least mentioning it to a friend. The moment you start conversation with this person, they are willing to say so much. Normally, the first few lines of conversation for men, they're willing to convince you so much. Because the truth is, if the guy is into you and is available, why is it that they are not available to take you to where they reside? Why do they want to go to an Airbnb place? Okay, so some of these things are avoidable
Situation, but hopefully that we who are still here learn our lessons. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please be polite, share your comments, understand that there are people who are grieving, and like this video. See you next time. Bye.